Good afternoon, good morning everyone. We are here to present our shake and bake demo for you. We're doing a video this year since we can't see you in person unfortunately. Christine will be behind the camera for most of this video, but I wanted to have her out in front to show you her face as much as we can see it as we get started. I'm Stephanie and I'll be the presenter for this, and we're about to start the shake and bake video. Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Okay, let's start this shake and bake demonstration. All right, so first of all, we've got the bake portion of our video. It's this lovely retrofitted toolbox. Christine, if you come in so that they can see this lovely box here, we've got a lamp that helps warm the aggregates and the cutback so that they can stay hot and fluid. So we've got our aggregates, we've got our cutback samples here, and we also are keeping our anti-strip nice and warm and fluid. So now I'm going to first talk a little bit about this aggregate. So this aggregate is a granitic material, fairly light in color, which is helpful for the contrast. And you may know that aggregates are the most reactive right after crushing, and that quartzites are also on the more reactive end. This is a quartzite that sat in the back of my trunk for a couple years, and it's still stripping. So that's pretty good stripper. Excellent for a demonstration, don't you think? All right, so I also want to tell you a little bit about our cutback. Now, the reason we're using cutback today is so that I can use these nice thin latex gloves, but the asphalt will remain fluid enough that I can do a demonstration in front of you. Whereas if I use hot asphalt, I would have to be using much bulkier gloves, and it'd just be a less pleasant experience for me. So here, just for the purpose of demonstration, this will be a cutback asphalt. This sample is treated with Wet Fix G400. You can tell it's treated because it has a very fancy label of a white dot on top. That's what tells me this is the treated cutback. And let's get our first sample going. So I'm going to take the cutback and I'm going to pour it into the aggregate. And then you might already have guessed, but the shake portion of this shake and bake demonstration is coming right up. I've got the cutback, I've got the aggregate, both are warm. I'm gonna shake it up, and shake it up, and shake it up, trying to make sure I can get a fully coated aggregate surface before we get started. Gotta be thorough. All right, so now let's bring this in and see if you can see. It looks fully coated to me. Christine, would you say that's fully coated?
I would say it's fully coated.
All right, so we are gonna take this sample and I'm gonna add some hot water to it. Hot to make sure the cutback can remain flowing. If you use cold, the cutback can get a little stiff. And I'm just gonna put this here at the side while we go, but I'm also going to do another very lovely, very fancy mark so that we know that this is our treated sample. The aggregate wasn't treated, the asphalt was. Now we've got a treated sample. All right, I am next going to grab another jar of aggregate, and this time you can tell it's an untreated cutback because there's no fancy white dot. And I am once again going to pour in some cutback. I'm gonna probably give it just a little bit higher of a dose, so you don't worry that any stripping is because of me cutting out some of the asphalt. We joke about Tony having a calibrated arm with weighing things. I'm gonna say that this is a calibrated arm for the purposes of this demonstration. And again, I shake and shake. And shake. Getting a little bit of a workout here. All right, and I see a couple uncoated spots, so I'm gonna go just a little longer. Okay. All right, looks fully coated to me. I'm again gonna have you guys take a look. Christine, does it look fully coated to you?
It looks fully coated to me.
Okay, I'm going to now add my hot water. And we are going to take these two samples and we are going to take a look at them. Now you may think, oh, it's going to be a while before we see anything, but I can already, on the left, the untreated sample, see the cutback starting to peel black from the glass. It tends to take longer with the treated sample because silica is what glass is made of. It's almost pure silica, and so it's like a very, very, very silicious quartzite. So the adhesion promoter or anti-strip can actually help the cutback remain on the glass as well as on the aggregate. Here you should be able to see, let's see if I can get a nice open area, the cutback is peeling away from the glass, and you can also start seeing these white edges coming through on the aggregate.
Yeah, we can see that.
All right, now here, let me try and find the most cleared place on here. I think it's this forward. Can you kind of zoom through and try and look? It's kind of hard to see because it's all just black.
It's black and shiny, but we can see that there are stones that are still coated.
Okay, excellent.
Behind the glass.
This might be one of the cases where it's almost easier to see on video than it might be in person. Now here, I would also like to show you another thing. Wetfix G400 is one of our adhesion promoters that demonstrates what we call active adhesion. So active adhesion is when you can cause asphalt and aggregate to stick together in the presence of water. I'm not going to use this sample because I want to leave this sample so that we can see it at the end of the video. But I'm going to make another untreated sample so that we can add the Wetfix G400 after the water has already gone on and see how that does. All right, so now I've got some more aggregate, some more untreated cutback. You can tell it's untreated because I have no white dot. The aggregate's the same aggregate it was before. All right, a real nice hefty dose of asphalt on that one. And your favorite part of the video, shake, shake, shake. You guys are all here getting to see me get buff. All right, I'm gonna take a look in. I see a couple minor edges, and I really want to make sure that I don't have any lingering question in your mind. So, all right, so let's take a look in there at this aggregate.
It looks coated. Let's see if I can just get a nice clear shot there. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
All right. So now I'm going to add water to the sample. And let's wait for just a few seconds. Oh, we can already see it's stripping off the glass. I'll bring it nice and close. So we can start seeing the pinholes on the glass. Let's wait till we can see more of the white aggregate.
I'm starting to see it here.
Okay.
Yeah, you could definitely see that.
All right. So if we can see those edges, those bare spots, that means there's already water between the aggregate and the cutback on at least those spots. I'm gonna wait another 10 seconds or so, just making sure that we've got a nice stripped sample to start with. All right. So now I'm gonna add our adhesion promoter. So once again, this is our Wetfix G400, a nice, light, beautiful, non-amine based adhesion promoter, so it doesn't smell too bad doing this. I'm going to try and do just one drop. And now I get to do, once again, one final time, some shaking. Now, while the glass remained fairly coated before, it doesn't tend to recoat as well with this kind because the silica is so reactive, but we should see that the cutback will go back onto the aggregate. So now I'm gonna need to let it settle because there's some foam in this, because the last times it was a dry system that I was shaking, and this time there was water in there. Now, it might be a little difficult to see, and I've got light behind it in my case so I can see through. But the glass is peeled off at the top, and the aggregate inside so far looks quite black.
Yes. Yeah, it's a little difficult to see, but it looks, I can definitely see the stones are black, and I don't see that black and white appearance before you added the adhesion promoter.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what we're going to do is we are going to see if we can take off the top. Because this is cut back, you guys are missing the lovely whiff of diesel that's going on right now. So we're going to take the surface off and see if we can look in through the top. If that doesn't work, we're going to pour it out for you. So let's see, can you see through the top?
I think you're going to need to pour them out.
Okay. All right. But let's get this ready here so we can see. So this sample here is the sample that we've just made, where we put the asphalt back on the aggregate by back adding an adhesion promoter.
Looks good.
With this sample, which you can see here, these were our original two samples. Quite a difference between them.
Yes.
I hope you've enjoyed our demonstration for you, and hopefully we'll see you in person next year. Take care.